In Wednesday's video, I was talking about the fact that our Father always has a purpose. He always has a goal in mind in how He works in our lives, the challenges that are before us, and how He strengthens us. He has a goal and outcome in mind that He's working toward. That's the heart and the character, that's the will of a father who wants to take his children from where they are into the fullness of what He knows they're capable of. Anybody who is a dad, is a father, a parent, a mother, knows that they want more for our children than even sometimes they realize or that they want for themselves. And so when we realize He has this goal and this purpose, we can draw comfort from that. We can be encouraged by it because He speaks words of encouragement as well as gives us the strength and the ability to meet those challenges, to receive them and to confront them as opportunities. And how we characterize them in our language and in our thoughts is really important. When we see that He is shaping and building, that He is chastening, He is leading us forth and creating things within us through the challenges of life. It's like exercise, bodybuilding, running, any type of thing where we are increasing our strength. It requires that we actually push against the pressure. We actually have some kind of tension. We have opposition. We have resistance. It's how we grow in strength. And we have great promises in the Word here to encourage us in this process. And today I want us to look at two verses in Romans 8. And the first one is very familiar. It's Romans 8:28, and then we're also going to read verse 29 because they go together and they speak to the fact that our Father in heaven has a plan and a purpose. So Romans 8:28, which we're very often, most people are familiar, but even if you're not, it's okay. He says, and we know. And so this is a positive thing. This is a declaration. We understand and we know this. We know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. So this verse is really beautiful, and it's one that a lot of people draw strength and comfort from, that all things are being worked together for good, for the outcome that God our Father has in mind and what He determines, what He desires. He can take all of those things, the challenges, the resistance, the opposition, and He can work with us, in us, through them, that as we read in Corinthians, the fragrance of Christ is diffused. It's in the midst of the hardship and the difficulties that Christ is actually born within us. He is manifested. He is revealed in us and through us. So He says He causes all things to work together for those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. Again, He has a purpose. And our love for Him is our response to what He is doing, what He's saying, what He's leading. So when I respond with love because I love Him because He first loved me, I am agreeing with Him and I am cooperating with Him in this process. It's really that simple. But notice what the goal and the outcome is, and it's seen in verse 29. He says, for whom He foreknew, and that's you. He knew you ahead of time. He also predestined. He determined ahead of time, this is His will and desire for you, is that you be conformed, made in the same likeness, to look like, to be like the image of His Son. He determined way before you even knew anything about it that He wanted you, that you were made and created and destined to look like Jesus. That's what this tells us. To be conformed to the image of His Son, that He, Jesus, might be the firstborn among many brethren and many brothers, many of God's children. So think about the purpose of God is to conform you to the image of Christ. And the way that I actually draw comfort and encouragement from this is to know that my Father is at work bringing this about. And He is giving me everything I need to be victorious and to actually accomplish His purpose in me right now.